No. And does it have anything to do with you? No, it has nothing to do with you. And yet here you are getting upset with yourself because people can't talk to you right now. And you start thinking it's you. No. It's out of your control. So I want to ask you today, what can you control in selling? Maybe you've been trying to control too much because there's a lot you can't actually control. For example, can you control what happened just before you called over to your prospect's place of business or their home? Maybe they just got into a huge fight with somebody, their supplier, their significant other, you don't know. Or you just walked in the door, same thing. Can you control what happened just before you walked in the door if you're doing cold walk-ins? You can't, right? Can you control, if you're making prospecting calls, whether they pick up the phone or not? Is that under your control? No. Can you control whether they are able to speak with you right now? No. And does it have anything to do with you? No, it has nothing to do with you. And yet here you are getting upset with yourself because people can't talk to you right now. And you start thinking it's you. No. It's out of your control. Can you control whether they're interested in what you have to say? No. Can you control whether they buy from you or not, ultimately? No. And yet a lot of people will get all wound up trying to control all these things. And it's a mistake. It's a huge waste of energy on your part to try and control things that are really out of your control. So what can you control? You can control you. You can control you. What's my attitude? How do I experience what goes on? And what values do I give the responses and the results that I get? If I can't talk to somebody, do I get upset about it and blame myself? Or do I just go, you know what? A lot of people aren't going to be able to talk to anybody today. Their own mother calls. They can't talk to her right now. That's just the way it is. And not take it personally and sail on to the next prospect. You can control you, your attitude, and whether you apply a consistent sales process. That's what we're talking about here, a consistent sales process that lets you know where you are in the sale, and if it dies, where it died and why, and if you get to a yes, why you got to a yes. You can filter, you can qualify, and you can do things to overcome objections perhaps and try and sell, but you cannot force somebody to buy. And if you do, you're just going to get buyer's remorse later on. So don't try and force people to buy. The hard sell idea anyway is so out of date. So if you're making dials, you can control whether you make the dials and how many dials you make, right? That's what you can control. Whether you apply that consistent sales process, filtering process, to separate the wheat from the chaff, those who are ready to buy from those who are not. And that's the best you can do. If you try and control all those other things that I mentioned, from whether they talk to you or not, or trying to control what happened before you walked in the door, all the way through whether they buy or not, you're just going to exhaust yourself. You're going to throw yourself onto spikes, essentially. It's going to be very painful. So just concentrate on you and filtering and running that process. This is Jason Kanigan from Sales on Fire. Thanks for watching.